So this is what Diana Butler Bass has to say about being aware and grateful. On awareness, she says, urgency, obligation, technology, and busyness. The cares of the day all present us from encountering awe and wonder. Too often we feel we have to go away from everyday life to the ocean or the mountains to recapture the mysteries of existence. But we need not go far to find wonder. We can look inside, for the greatest mystery is the one we most often take for granted, that we are alive. She says that gratitude is not warm feelings about what we have. It's the ability to embrace the gift of who we are, that we are. In the multi-billion-year history of the universe, the gift is that each one of us has been born, can love, and grows in awareness. Life is the gift. So when you think about your own life, your own story, or the overarching story, God's plan for healing and wholeness, I invite you to think of just one thing that you're grateful for. Maybe it's a relationship to a person, or the fact that you have shelter, right? That your needs are met. So again, just one thing that you are grateful for. And we're going to use that as our intention. So whenever you lose track of your breath or find yourself distracted and need to bring your attention back to your mat, use that. Now I'm wearing the red, white, and blue for a reason, because we are all connected. And part of that miracle that I am, that you are, and that we are together. So we're going to move our spine a little bit and focus on our feet. Maybe open up our hips. So on an exhale, just drop your chin to your chest if that feels safe with your spine, your neck. So if ever something doesn't feel right, if you feel pain or it doesn't feel safe, simply come back to sitting up tall or standing tall with your spine erect. So inhaling, bring your head back over your shoulders. And then exhale, take your left ear to your left shoulder or your right ear, doesn't matter which. And then inhale back to center. And exhale to the other side. Just feeling the shoulders slide down the back. And then again, inhaling back to center. So we're going to start to add some motions to that. As you exhale and drop your chin to your chest, perhaps hollowing out like that capital C shape where you pull your mid back. It's like a seated cat. And then inhale, come on back to neutral. Right? So then exhaling, hollow out. On your inhale, you're going to take your left ear to your left shoulder again, like you're trying to show somebody the longest side of your neck on the other side. Lifting your chest. And slowly and gently, pay attention to the mid-back and exhale, hollow out again. Then inhale, other ear to the shoulder. Lifting your chest, showing that side of your neck. And exhale, hollow out. And inhaling, lift up and then exhale to one side, your left. Inhale, come back up to seated, erect, and exhale, hollow out. So just slowly starting to become aware of the muscles all around the spine. Inhale, sit up tall again. Go to the other side, just folding gently to the side. You might notice the difference from one side to the other. There's your exhale, and then inhale. Head back over your shoulders, and exhale, hollow out. So then we're going to twist. Inhale, get tall. Take your opposite arm to the left. Exhaling, twist, looking over your back shoulder. Then inhale, get tall again. And exhale, hollow out. So last one, inhale, get tall. You're gonna twist the other way. Looking over that back shoulder. Get tall again, inhale back to center, and exhale, hollow out. So then we're gonna start to fold forward over our legs. I'm gonna turn sideways just so you can see. So with a flat back, inhale, you're gonna get tall. As you exhale, you're gonna fold forward. Inhale here, reach the crown of the head out long. Then curl your tailbone under and pull yourself back, shoulders over the hips, exhaling here. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, fold with a flat back over your legs. Then exhale, hollow out into that capital C shape. And inhale, get tall again. We do that one more time. Exhaling, folding gently over your hips. You might only go 1/4 of an inch, that's okay, right? Just opening up the hip. Exhale, hollow out. And inhale. Shoulders back over your hips. So then we're going to switch to cross the legs. If you had your left legs crossed, so you can get a little opening in the other hip. Inhale, get tall. Exhaling, fold forward. So taking your time and cultivating that awareness in your body and your spine. Exhale, hollow out. Each one of us unique. And inhale, straighten. Exhaling gently forward. You can do this with your eyes closed or just a soft gaze. Hollow out. Inhale, come on back to neutral. So we've got one more time. Exhale, forward. Inhale, stay long. Exhale, hollow out. And come on back to neutral. And then you're going to take your feet right in front of you and plant your feet. So just like we would if we were standing, we want to keep our knees, hips, ankles all in line. So if you have trouble with your low back and you need to support yourself with your hands, that's okay, right? So on an inhale, you're going to lift your toes, spread them wide. Exhale, put them down and feel how that firms up your legs. So we do that again. Inhale, lift your toes. Push the ball of the feet into the mat. Put the toes down. Feel as much of the foot in contact with the floor as you can. So one more time. Inhale, lift the toes. Push the balls of the feet down. Release your toes back to the mat. And take a breath. And then if you're able to take your arms forward, just feeling your core and your inner thighs nice and strong. Right? And then exhaling your hands back down by your hips and reach your legs out. Nice long Dandasana, so seated staff pose. Go ahead and give your legs a shake. So if your hamstrings are really tight, you might need to sit up on a block. All right. So just seated here, this is a great pose for just cultivating stability. Draw your toes back towards your knees. Shoulders right over the hips, back of the neck long. Come back to that intention you set, that one thing that you're grateful for. Nice. And so then if you have a strap or a necktie, go ahead and grab it. If you don't, you can just hold it to the back of your thigh. So we're going to come down to our backs safely. So rock onto one hip, stretch yourself out, and then roll onto your back. That way you don't have to round down, right? So we're going to start with the left leg today, so odd number day. You're going to take that strap right over your ball of your foot. So if you don't have a strap, just hold onto your thigh. Because basically what we're going to do here is mimic a standing high lunge. So you're going to hold onto that strap, walk your hands way up, feel a little bit of crunching in that left hip, and then extend your right leg straight out, foot flexed, both feet super flexed, pushing that right thigh into the ground if you can. Just a few breaths here, again, kind of mimicking that standing high lunge. So working the feet, even here, is going to give us some stability in the pose. If you let your feet go, you'd realize there was very little muscle action going on in the rest of the leg. Good. Then on an exhale, start to extend your heel out. You can keep the leg a little bit bent or you can extend it all the way. Get into that calf and the hamstring. Just breathe. So still you could be holding the back of your thigh. If you are, hold on to it with the left arm. Rest your right hand on top of your thigh. If you're holding a strap, just keep holding on. And we're going to take that leg out to the side only as far as you can without letting the body come off the mat. So keep the whole body rooted into the mat. You can feel the core strength this takes. So if you're really having a hard time with that, you could take your right arm out to the side as counterbalance. Take a breath here. Nice. And then pulling your low belly in, inhale, bring that leg back up, using your core. Exhale and release the strap, bend the knee, draw that knee into your chest, and make some little circles with your knee in the air. Just kind of work in that hip joint. So it's important to keep our hips moving well in their sockets as much as we can. And then reverse the direction of your little circle. Keep the back of your neck long. And then exhale, stretch that left leg out to meet the right. And just notice the difference between one leg and the other. And then gently draw the other leg in. So I think this would be your right leg, right? So we do the same thing on this side. So we're going to mimic that standing high lunge, wrapping our strap around the ball of the foot or holding onto the back of the thigh. Both legs flexed deeply. The feet flexed back towards the knees, right? Couple breaths here. Notice where you feel it. So maybe a little crunch in that right hip now. Then on an inhale, extend the leg long. Relax the shoulders back toward the mat. Keep drawing the toes back toward the knees. Maybe you can get a little deeper stretch in the hamstring or the calf. And then left hand on the top of the thigh. Take the leg out to the side, either holding the back of the leg or keep your hand on the strap. Really using your core strength. Keep the body stable. So even though we're laying on our backs, these are the kind of poses that are going to help keep our core strong and help our balance when we're standing up. And then pull the low belly in to bring the leg back up. And then release the tie, hold on to the knee, and make some circles with the knee in the air. And then reverse direction. And extend that leg out to meet the other. And just notice if you even them out. Good. And then go ahead and bend the knees and plant your feet flat. We're going to do a couple of easy bridge poses. So maybe you can touch your heels with your fingertips. If you can't get there, that's okay, right? Your palms facing down, push your hands into the mat. Make the back of your neck super long and inhale. Take your knees forward towards your toes and lift your hips. And exhale, drop your hips down. And again, inhale, lift your hips. Using your glutes and your hamstrings, exhale, drop your hips down. So definitely the opposite of sitting in a chair all day. Inhaling, lift your hips. And exhaling, drop them down. All right, and then draw the knees into the chest, holding the backs of your thighs or your shins. Just gently rock from side to side.
Make some circles with your ankles in the air. Go in one direction. And just enlivening all the muscles in the feet, crunching your toes and flexing your toes and your ankles, and then go in the other direction. So articulating through the foot as much as you can. And then planting your feet, slowly and gently roll to one side so that you can push yourself back up to seated. And then come to all fours, right? So fingers spread really wide. That's going to help protect your wrist. Pad your knees if you need, right? So you're going to start with the left leg. Inhaling, take that heel out. And exhaling, knee to the nose. You could hollow out your belly and round your spine if that feels safe. Inhaling, crown of the head and heel out. And exhaling, knee to nose. One more time, inhaling, heel out. And exhaling, knee to the nose. And then take that heel out again. And if you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, take the opposite thumb to the ceiling. So if you gaze down at the mat right below your nose, it'll help you stay stable. Take another breath. And gently release. Dropping the knee, rock your hips from side to side. Take your knees a little bit wider than hip width apart and rock your heels back towards child's pose. So you could put a block between your hips and your heels if it bothers your knees to go deeply bent like that. You could put the block under your forehead if you have trouble getting your forehead to the ground. So you want to feel completely supported here. Just a few breaths. So remember, these forward folds are great for activating the parasympathetic rest and digest side of the central nervous system. And then inhaling, bring your shoulders back over your wrists and get your hands right underneath again. So we're going to do that same thing on the other side. Right leg out, toes pointing down, spine really long, inhale deeply. And then exhale, knee to the nose. So just being aware of the sensations in your body. Inhaling, heel out, crown of the head out. Exhaling, knee to nose. Inhaling, heel out. And exhaling, knee to nose. And one more time, taking the heel out. Reach your thumb up. And just a couple of breaths, feeling that length. Gratitude for your body's ability to move like this. And exhaling gently. Bring the knee down again. Rock the hips from side to side. Take your knees a little bit wider than hip width apart, big toes together. And again, we're going back to your version of child's pose. So if it really bothers you to be on your knees like this, roll onto your back and just hug your knees to your chest, right? See if you can get your forehead to the ground or onto a block. Follow your breath. Every breath is a gift. Good, and inhale. Come on back up. So we're going to come to seated on one hip, perhaps on your left hip. All right, so we're going to work a twist here again. So if your hips are super tight and you're having a hard time getting your spine perpendicular to the ground, you might want to sit up on a block. Just get this hip on a block or a blanket. Or again, you could do this sitting in a chair, right? So sit up really, really tall. And as you exhale, twist away from your feet. Few deep breaths here, maybe looking over your back shoulder. and then release the twist, come right onto your elbow, right? So pull your low belly in, and then you're gonna stretch that top leg out. So we're working our outer thigh a little bit here, right? Shouldn't be any pain anywhere. We'll make a few little circles in the air with that leg. Flex your foot just like you're standing on it. And then make a few little circles going the other way. And strengthening all those muscles that are going to help us stay strong. So bend the knee, bring it back to meet the other one. Come on back up, sitting on that hip. Then you're going to swing that top leg around, pull your low belly in till you get to a seated, ready for half-seated fish twists, right? So if it bothers you to have your bottom leg bent like that, you could stretch it straight out in front. Again, you want to get both hips down onto the ground or onto your block, wherever you are. You're going to sit up really, really tall, and then twist toward that top leg. So getting a nice stretch in that hip we just worked. Just find one place to rest your gaze. Stillness is good. The thing about the body is it's never entirely still. As long as you're breathing, it's moving dynamically. No need to be afraid of stillness. Nice and gently release. So go ahead and stretch your feet out in that Dandasana pose again, right? So legs can be a little bit bent, or you can stretch them all the way out. Rest your hands on your thighs, sit up really tall, maybe even close your eyes again. And then we'll take those twists to the other side. So sit on the opposite hip. Right, sitting up really tall, again, block, blanket, pillow, chair, whatever you need, right? And then on exhale, twist away from your feet. So feet completely relaxed here, no work. Just make more space somewhere. Massage those internal organs. And exhale, release the twist. Face your front straight forward, and then pull your low belly in to come onto that elbow, right? And stretch the top leg out. I make little circles in the air in one direction, with the foot flexed. So that leg's working now, nice and firm. And then go the opposite direction. Then gently bend that knee back in to meet the other. Pull your low belly in to push yourself back up, spine erect, and extend that leg out and swing it around. Again, take this bottom leg out straight if it bothers your knee to have it tucked in, and get both hips on the ground. So even here, your top foot is working like you might stand up on it, right? Inhale, get tall, and exhale, twist toward your top leg. And settle in. One more deep inhale, get tall. Exhale, maybe deepen the twist. And gently release. So then we're going to come onto all fours to come to a high lunge. So I'm actually going to turn around. You could either use the block or a chair for stability. If you're using a chair, just make sure it's not on a slick surface, right? So we're going to bring our left leg forward, knee right over the ankle. Curl those back toes under, right? And lift your hips up, back knee up. Make sure you're nice and stable, so your block could be here. So I want you to check in with your front foot And again, lift those toes, spread them wide, put them down, and feel that how that helps your core stabilize. So if you're feeling nice and stable, you might bring your hands to your thigh. Right. And finding one place to rest your gaze will help you stay strong and still. Nice. On an exhale, you're going to bring your hand back to the block. Gently float that back knee down, right? So no noise. And we'll come back to all fours and get ready to do the same thing on the other side. So again, using the chair or a block, get that front knee right over the ankle. Curl your toes under, stabilize that front foot, and lift your back knee. All right, try and get your shoulders right back over your hips. Tons of core strength here. Exhaling, gently release your hands to the chair or the block. So this time we're going to scoot our back foot to meet our front. When you get there, sit in a little modified chair pose, feet 2 fist widths apart, hands back to the thighs. On an inhale, you're going to lift your hips, reach the crown of the head out long, and then half forward fold like somebody could be eating dinner on your back. Check in with your feet. Lift your toes, spread them out, put them down. All right. And then soften. If it's safe for your spine to bend forward, rib cage over the thighs, let your head hang. And then we're going to come up with a flat back, so hands on the thighs, reach the crown of the head out long and come to standing. Tadasana. On an inhale, take your arms up over your head. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Feel yourself nice and rooted. Good. So you're going to lift your left knee. Like a lowercase h. Go to the wall or a chair. Make sure you're practicing one-legged balances safely. Modified tree here. Maybe you want to take your arms up, slide them up past your ears, like a one-legged Tadasana. And exhale, come right back, feet 2 fist widths apart. Shift your weight into the other side, and take that modified tree on the other side. So both feet working here. Nice. Take your arms up. Remember, it's just a practice. Every day is different. Keep your breath nice and steady. And exhaling, gently release. And go ahead and walk it out. So we're going to do a standing hip stretch. Again, you'll want to go to the wall or hold on to a chair if that's helpful. So you're going to do the same thing you just did. You're going to lift your left knee. Then you're going to cross it over your right thigh. So you're making a number 4. You're going to wiggle your toes and start to sit down into the heel. So gentle bend in the standing knee. Shouldn't be any pain anywhere. Keep these toes flexed back toward the knee. That'll help protect it. Maybe you rest your hands on your ankle and your knee. This might be enough. Or hold on to the wall or a chair. Maybe you want to fold your body toward the legs. Get a bigger stretch in that outer hip. Use your drishti, your focal point, gazing at one thing that's not moving. And come out of it just the way you went in. So first, raising your shoulders over your hips, intentionally releasing the knee, lifting it up, and putting it down. Good work, right? Take a breath and we'll do the same thing on the other side. So using your concentration, your breath, your focal point, your drishti, cross the foot over the knee. Wiggle the toes of the standing leg so that you know you're sitting down into the heel. Again, remember, practice safely. Hold on if it's helpful, and maybe you fold yourself forward. And then come out of it. Shoulders over the hips first. Then release the knee and lift it. And exhale, back to Tadasana. Nice, and release your arms. So let's just give ourselves a little easy twist, release any tension. A couple more times each side. And release. Okay, so we're going to come back to the front of the mat and do a couple of sun salutations. So be sure that you have a block or the chair to help. We'll be taking the left leg back first, so you know. So start in Tadasana. And on inhale, sweep your fingertips up. Exhaling, bring your hands through your heart center, soften your knees, and fold forward. So maybe you only want to go halfway. Maybe you want to fold all the way like a rag doll. Just be careful if you have any eye issues, eye pressure, glaucoma, that kind of thing, that you be careful how you take your head below your heart. And everybody's going to inhale, crown of the head out long, upside down L. And then exhale, bend the knees, use your block or a chair or the ground. You're going to take your left leg way back in that high lunge, front knee right over the ankle, right? And then gently float that back knee down. And then we come to all fours, all right? Bring the front knee to meet the back. Your hands are slightly forward of your shoulders, maybe one hand length. So when you inhale and bring your shoulders over your wrists, your spine is nice and long. Squeeze your elbows in and exhale. Try and get your chest and chin to the mat before your hips, using your triceps and your core, and then float the hips down. So we're going to take a gentle back bend here. Push the tops of the feet into the mat. Strong legs make good back bends. Bring your elbows under your shoulders. Forearms are parallel. Feel like you're making your spine longer. Make that space between your shoulders and your ears longer. Just gently gazing forward. You might feel a nice stretch in the upper abdominal muscles between your ribs. And just resting your gaze one place. Undoing all that sitting, slouching, worrying. Just keep your heart open, come back to your intention. And exhaling. Release your head, bring your hands back under your shoulders. We're going to do 3 gentle cobras. Keep using your legs, push your feet into the mat, inhaling. Gently lift the shoulders and the crown of the head. And exhale down. Just remember, shouldn't be any pain anywhere. Inhaling, gently arch. And exhale down. Paying attention to the sensations in your body. One more time, inhaling, gently arch. And exhaling down. Bring your hands a little bit closer to your waist so that you can squeeze your elbows in and reverse your push-up. All right. So from here, you're going to curl your back toes under, kind of puff out your chest like a Halloween cow shape, right? And then lift your hips up. Keep your arms long. You don't have to straighten your legs. Just take your rib cage toward your knees. So downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here. Just let your head hang between your upper arms. So you've got some options here. You could lift your left leg up to the sky and bring it to high lunge. Or you could float the knees down like I'm going to and bring that left knee right over the ankle, right? So an easier transition. Then we curl the back toes under using your block or the chair. And we scoot that back leg to meet the front. First in an easy forward fold. Then inhale halfway up. All right, spine long, exhaling, soften again. Softening on the exhales. And then reverse with a flat mat, come back up to Tadasana. And exhale your hands to your heart. And we'll go on the other side. I'm just going to turn around so I don't have my back to you. All right, maybe I'll use this chair this time just so you can see. So exhale everything out. Inhale, take your arms over your head. Soften your knees and gently dive forward. You can always use the chair for support. Then inhale, come halfway up, flat back. Exhale, bend the knees. Now we're taking the right leg way back in high lunge so the left knee stays right over the ankle. So I'm still using the chair. Float the back knee down. All right. Maybe we bring our hands to our thigh. And then release the hands to the mat. Coming to all fours. The shoulders right over the wrists, the spine is long. Exhale, chaturanga, chest and chin down to the mat. So this time we're going to do a locust pose. Again, there shouldn't be any pain. So you might want to keep your feet pushing into the mat and just inhale, lift your shoulders and reach your fingertips towards your ankles. Or you could squeeze your inner thighs and also lift your heels. They might only come up like 1/4 of an inch. Shouldn't be any crunching in the low back. Want to make yourself longer. Take a couple breaths. Then exhaling, release your legs, bring your hands back under your shoulders. Push the tops of the feet into the mat again, and 3 gentle cobras. Inhaling, gently arch. Exhaling, forehead to the mat. Inhaling, gently arch. Exhaling, forehead down. One more time, inhaling, gently arch. Exhaling, forehead down. Hands go a little bit closer to the waist, fingers spread wide. Squeeze the elbows in. Come to that modified plank. Curl your toes under. Puff out your chest. And lift your hips up and back for downward facing dog. Right, so more important to have your spine long. One long line from your hips to your hands. Knees can stay a little bit bent. So again, we're going to get ready to transition. You could take that right leg up in the air and pull it forward to high lunge, or you can gently float both knees down. Bring the foot forward, knee right over the ankle. Right? Using your support to lift that back thigh. Bring the back foot to meet the front. So we soften in a forward fold on your exhale. Inhale, come halfway up. Soften the knees one more time, folding forward. Reverse your dive. Fingertips up in the air. And exhale your hands to your heart. Nice. Okay, we're going to do one more one-legged balance, kind of a variation on tree pose. So first thing you're going to do is turn your right foot out so that your toes are pointed diagonally, or really pointed straight out to the side. And then come up onto the ball of your foot. Keep the knee pointed straight out to the side. So hold on to a chair or the wall or something. Then you're going to lift that knee, either holding the back of the thigh or maybe the shin. So really getting that hip open. Keep your standing leg strong. Then you're going to put that foot on your leg. So maybe it stays on the calf, knee pulling way out, or maybe you lift it above the knee. And bring your hands to your heart. Doesn't really matter where the foot is. You're getting all the benefits as long as you're standing on one leg. And then maybe you take your arms up in the air. Whoa, don't watch me. Find a focal point that's not moving. Take a moment to appreciate the miracle that you are, that we are. And exhaling, gently release. I love the pup. All right. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Take the foot out, then come up onto the ball of the foot, the knees coming to the back side of the body. So holding on, you can maybe hold the back of the thigh, ooh, don't watch me, or the shin. Just get that knee open. And then decide where you want to put it, either on the calf or maybe above the knee, just no weight in the knee. Again, using your drishti, your gaze, as an anchor, and your breath. And maybe you grow your tree. And exhaling, gently release, and just walk it out. Nice. Okay, so we're going to do warrior two and triangle. Again, this is a place where you can hold a chair right in front of you, or back yourself up to the wall, or a piece of furniture, a sofa. You're going to take a big wide straddle. Right, then you're going to turn your left toes straight out to the short edge of your mat, so we have heel to arch alignment. Right, and then take your arms straight out to the side. Tons of energy in your arms, right? And as you exhale, take that left knee right over the middle of the foot. You should still be able to see your big toe. So you might want to widen your stance. Make sure you're nice and stable. Relax your neck and your shoulders. And just gaze over those left fingertips. Again, just enjoying that dynamic stillness, strength you're creating. And then inhale, go ahead and straighten. So triangle pose, we're going to bring our hands to our hips. Again, holding on to something if it's helpful, the chair, the wall. Soften your knees, and you're going to tilt your pelvis toward that front leg. Feel a nice stretch in the inner thigh. So you want to feel like you're squished between two pieces of glass. You can rest your hand on your thigh, or maybe on your shin as you take the crown of the head out long. See all the triangles we're making? Our legs, our arm and our leg. And then maybe you want to take your top arm up so that your two arms make one long line. And today we just gaze forward, nice and steady. Keep those feet working. Feel like somebody's pulling on your top wrist. Bring you right back up. And turn those toes in. So let's just go ahead and soften the knees a little bit. And then straighten them. And then soften them. And straighten them. And we'll go to the other side. So right toes out. Right? Take your arms way out to the side. Firm up those tricep muscles. Lots of energy. Fingers spread wide. And take the knee right over the middle toes. So push into the outer edge, the pinky toe edge of that back foot. That'll help protect the knee. So find a version of the pose that you can stay in for several breaths. Nice. And inhaling, go ahead and straighten that leg. Soften the knee, hips, right? Soften the knees. And tilt your pelvis. Crown of the head's reaching straight out diagonally. So we got one triangle with our legs, another triangle with our arm and our leg. And then maybe you extend the top arm. Feel that opening in your shoulders. The back of the neck still nice and long. Great for building core strength. Smile, it's easier. So feel like somebody's pulling you up by that top arm. Right? And turn those toes in. Safest way to protect your sacrum as you come back to standing is to heel toe your way in. So you're not wrenching your back in one way or the other. So bring your big toes together. Have your heels be about 1 inch apart. We're going to wiggle our toes and just sit down into an imaginary chair. So I'll turn sideways so you can see me, right? Hips drop, chest stays up. You can even rest your hands on your thighs. So if you want, you can sweep your fingertips up in the air. Great for our quads. Going to get them nice and warm. And then we're going to give them a stretch. So a couple more breaths here. As you exhale, bring your hands back to your thighs. Fold your rib cage toward your thighs. So posing and counter posing, that was a little bit of a back bend. Now I got a forward fold going. You're going to lift your hips, right? And then soften your knees, and we're coming back to high lunge to bring ourselves to the ground. So the goal is to get the front knee right over the ankle, right? So that you can float the back knee down and come to all fours. Right? You rock your hips from side to side a little bit. And then we're going to come on to our bellies. So down to the elbows. Drop your hips. We're right back into that Sphinx pose. Just an easy back bend. Nice. And then on an exhale, go ahead and bring your right arm forward and you're going to roll onto your right side. So we're going to do an easy quad stretch here, grabbing a hold of the shin and then the ankle. If you can't get a hold of your ankle, you could use your strap, your necktie. The goal is to bring the knees back together. The bottom leg can be a little bit soft, slightly bent for stability. Or you could really work it, flex the foot and extend it out long like you're standing on it. So the goal is to be pushing this hip point forward. Get rid of that crease. Again, shouldn't be any pain in the knee. A few deep breaths here. Good, and exhaling, gently release. Just bring that knee forward, kind of neutralize the spine, and bring the legs back together. So I'm going to bend my knees and push myself up to seated and flip myself around so that I don't have my back to you. You don't have to do that. You're still able to see. We're just going to do the same thing on the other side. All right. So bottom leg can be slightly bent. You can cradle your head and your bottom arm. Grab hold of your shin, then your ankle, or use as tie, or hold the back of your pant leg. And just feel that quadricep muscle getting long. Try not to brace anywhere. Stick with your body. Stay with your intention. Find a way to make a little more space. And exhaling, gently release that leg. Again, bring the knee forward a little bit to neutralize the spine. And then we're going to gently push ourselves up to seated again. Stretching that top leg out long to help support you. And we're going to come to an easy straddle. So again, if your hamstrings, hips and hamstrings are tight, you might want to sit up on a block or a blanket. I'll go sideways just to show you what to avoid. We do not want to be rounded under like that, sitting on your sacrum, because then you're just stretching your low back. You want to get your pelvis completely perpendicular to the ground, right? So do whatever you need to do, keeping the knees bent, sitting up. You could even do this sitting in a chair, right? So don't want to hyperextend the legs too much. Sit up really, really tall. Toes are pointing right toward the ceiling. So maybe this is it for you, right? Or maybe you can start to walk your hands forward so that you come forward an inch or two. Or maybe you're super bendy and you can flatten your belly onto the ground. Just remember, it's a practice. You can support yourself on your thighs or your shins. So if you activate the quadricep muscles, the leg muscles, and the feet, you're going to get more of a stretch and the hamstrings and the inner thighs. So this is also a nice gentle forward fold, good to do before bed. Maybe you rest your elbows on a block. Maybe eventually you get your forehead to the block. Remember, your block has 3 settings, low, medium, and high. Perhaps close your eyes. And keep your feet working. Only to make more length. Three more deep breaths. So when you're ready, using your hands to push yourself back up, shoulders over the hips. And you're going to gently wiggle the legs, bringing them together. So one more time in that seated staff pose, Dandasana. Rest your hands on your thighs, draw your toes back towards your knees. Take your shoulders up, back, and down. Close your eyes. Feel the stability. Sometimes the best place to find stability is by looking inward. And gently release. Good. So we're going to bring ourselves back down onto our backs. So if there's any other pose that your body might be asking for, I don't know if it's a twist or maybe it's if you have an inversion in your practice. So we're going to roll down safely onto our backs. Maybe it's another bridge pose. I think that's what I'll do. But you can do anything that might help you complete your practice. Maybe it's a gentle twist, right? Just taking your knees from side to side. I'm gonna root my upper arms and lengthen the back of my neck and then just lift my hips up gently. Maybe interlace my hands underneath me and tuck my shoulder blades together. Feel the stability in my feet. A soft front side. Strong backside. So whatever you're doing, find a way to make more space. When you've had enough, gently releasing. So deciding how you'd like to do your Shavasana. You could keep your knees bent if that's better for your low back. You could stretch out completely in corpse pose. You could flip around and take your legs up the wall. You could even put the soles of the feet together and let the knees flop open in bound angle, reclined bound angle. The goal would be to just spend a couple of minutes without fidgeting. So find your Shavasana. One last time, recall that intention of gratitude that you set. Say to yourself silently, I am thankful for, and fill in that blank. And then just follow your breath. So wherever you are, if your palms are not already turned facing up, I invite you to turn them facing up so that you can receive all that good energy you've created. The miracle of you that we've created. The miracle that we are. And then slowly and gently bring yourself out of your Shavasana pose. Maybe starting with the fingers and the toes. Maybe it's adjusting your hips. Doing a gentle twist. So whatever motions you need to do to roll to your right side, resting in that embryo pose, getting ready to begin again. I'm going to share with you Diana Butler Bass's prayer. God, whose name in the Hebrew scripture is revealed to be I am. We tremble that each one of us is created in that divine image. We can say with you, I am. We stand on this holy ground, consumed with wonder, knowing that life is the greatest gift of all. Thank you. So when you're ready, gently and safely pushing yourself up to seated, I invite you to keep your eyes closed if you like. Sit however you can feel your spine, nice and long, one more time. On an inhale, take your arms up in the air. Just feeling the spaciousness in your body. Exhaling, bring your hands to your heart center, bowing your head to your heart. A pat on the back for showing up for yourself so that you can be your best for others. The spirit in me honors the spirit in each of you. Namaste. So I'll be sharing more this month from Diana Butler Bass. So you can go to my website, Almost Home Yoga, and subscribe to my email newsletter if you don't get it already. And you can get all the details. Well done, people.